Good morning. This is Professor Anderson with a little bit of feedback for your writing assignment number 2, the technical description. Let me share with you a little bit of, this is excellent. I want to just share with you some polishing ideas that you may want to take into consideration. So first of all, let's read that very first sentence. The universal serial bus flash drive has become common knowledge over the past decade. With the bytes per dollar dropping at an alarming rate, flash drives are the easiest way to move large amounts of data. The widespread popularity is mainly due to the convenience of moving files, music, presentations, pictures, and projects with an object the size of your thumbnail. Without getting into this quick quote. So let's take a look at this first thing. Couple of things I'd like to caution you about. One is using things that are very subjective. So has become common knowledge. Yes, a USB is used very frequently, but common knowledge, I'm not so sure. So I would suggest refining the term to say something the USB or the universal serial bus flash drive has become an increasingly popular or almost standard set of equipment, or because common knowledge, you're assuming that everybody knows. And if I tried to teach some people where the USB port was, you can't imagine. So I would just caution about certain terms that are considered very subjective. They're just that you want to be as direct as possible. And so the fact that it is much more wide, it is, almost commonplace in working with computers. It is a common item associated with most computers, is a little more direct than common knowledge over the past years. With bytes per dollar dropping at an alarming rate. Now, that is absolutely accurate and absolutely true, but your description gives me an increase in the transfer data rate, but not the rest of your paper has nothing to do with the pricing. So I'd remove that line. Instead I would say something like, describe what it does next. A flash drive is an easy way to move large amounts of data. And then here, with an object the size of a thumbnail, or its widespread popularity is I like that sentence, due mainly to the convenience of moving large amounts of data like files, music, presentation with an object the size of your thumbnail. Okay, so I guess what I'm trying to share is when you're presenting information, present the information that will follow, and make certain to avoid subjective terms, especially in a technical paper. In a white paper, of course, you've learned that you want to you're trying to persuade without a hard sell. You're doing a soft sell kind of approach. But in a technical paper, it's just short, sweet, concrete, to the point. You want to check this citation, make certain that you're using APA format. Okay, so there is a few other examples in here I wanted to share with you regarding just this kind of subjective notation of information. Now, this portion right here, the chart itself, remember, a technical manual has to be to a non-specific audience, so it needs to be easily accessible for a broad spectrum. So here, the chart below, figure 1, lists the standard transfer rates of USB from the introduction in 95 to its latest iteration or to the latest in 2019. They range from blah, 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 blah. Not only is the data capacity an important factor with flash, but how quickly. So I would describe how this is. You could do this in probably 2 sentences. Like, for example, the chart below lists the standard transfer rate from 95 to 2019. What is the importance of this chart? So to show the increased speed with which data transfers, this chart below illustrates how USBs have gained have gained in their transfer rate. I'm just sort of, this is a lot of technical jargon that this could explain. So I would say you'll notice the first standard USB released in 1995 had a transfer rate of 12 megabytes per second. In 2019, that had increased to 20 gigabytes per second. This is an increase in the transfer rate of X percentage. So megabytes to gigabytes, that's like 1000% or something like that. I don't know how many exponential portions you'd have to go through there, but you'll be able to say that in like 3 sentences. So a lot of times, especially in a technical manual, you want that image to say a lot. Here, you want to talk about how they come in many different fun shapes and sizes. I would give them labels. Like you have a whole bunch of different kinds of USBs here, but I would say here you have flash drives, and then you use a different term, pen drive, jump drive, are some popular forms, but for the remainder of this report, they would be referred to as flash drives. I would say up here, flash drives come in many shapes and sizes, also known by other names as pen, blah, 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 blah. These portable devices come in, from everything from soup to nuts, and show a picture of one as a bowl of soup and one as a bowl of nuts. They're made of hard plastic. I like this, how it works, perfect. But what I would recommend here is how it works. One, it stores data electronically on a memory chip, and then show number 1 down here. Two, the PCB acts as the backbone. It collects the device, and then show number 2. So I would just correspond your image to the functions that you're describing inside of your how does it work. And then this impact, I don't know. Yeah, this is a little bit more. Here we go. I wonder if this impact really is better up here in this area, the background information. Again, this is excellent. I'm just giving you some polishing tips on how to make certain that it's to what we would consider, technical specs for a technical description. I look forward to reading your final copy.